Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. Hope you're having a great day, a great night. My name is Brianna. If you saw by the titles, I am going to be discussing some of my biggest fears and how I have worked to overcome them. Okay, so this video is another personal, I feel like, but I really want to share this. I love sharing the deep moments of my life and just hoping that maybe you guys will relate to some way. I always describe myself growing up as having a lot of fears. Afraid of everything that everyone's afraid of. The dark, heights, snakes, spiders, mice, strangers, like you know all the basics, everything. It was always me. Different things were at different extents of me being afraid. And kind of when I hit an adult, several years, like it just kind of kept getting worse and worse, to the point of I really was just like, I wasn't doing anything, I wasn't getting out and having fun, I wasn't doing much because I was afraid of what could happen. Some of those were legit fears of things that happened and other things were not. And through several events, well, let's back up. One of my biggest fears came down to dating. Laugh all you want. This is, as much as I talk about dating and I've gone on dates, as all this stuff, dating has probably been one of my biggest fears my whole entire life. Just afraid of what could happen, how I've been treated, how I could be treated. And everything around that was really bad. And through some dating experiences several years back, it had kind of excelled. I had a really weird, but it kind of excelled to the point of I was like, I don't even know how I'm gonna date or do any of this because all these guys that I'm meeting are just kind of creepy and weird, and not putting everyone in a box, but I just had some weird, creepy experiences. And I just was not familiar, and so I just kind of was just pushing it away and didn't want to date. And I think I think all my fears were coming to a point I was like, I can't do this, I can't do that. Every little thing was just coming together, and I was just like, nah, I'm just gonna live my life in this little box. And I've actually been at my current job for 6.5 years now. And so I'd been at it for several years at this point, but there was an intermittent little part in the middle of the summer where they didn't really need me, so I got another job for just a month, and then I came back and all that stuff. So during this point, I was working as a receptionist, and I had a lot of free time there. They're just you watch the desk, do all this stuff, and then whenever else, just do whatever you want. I was like, okay, great. And you kind of scroll through social media, you kind of can watch shows, but that gets boring. And so I was like, hey, I want to try to be productive with my time. So during that time, I was doing family history, looking at my ancestors. I was also studying the scriptures a lot during that point. And I'm not exactly sure what all influenced this whole thing, but I was sitting one day and realizing that I had let all my fears control me. And I've never done any big sins or anything, nothing. I've never killed anyone, done drugs, or done anything big, but I realized in that moment that I was so afraid of what could happen that I was not letting God control my life. So from that, I started realizing I just let fear control everything, and I wasn't trusting in God and what was possible for Him to do and provide in my life. And from that moment on, I was like, this is something I really felt that I needed to repent of. And to some that may seem a little silly, but for me it was very, very relieving to let that go and to just say, I'm gonna try to face my fears. So from that moment on, I said, God, you're in control of my life. I'm gonna let you take control. I'm gonna start having fun. I'm gonna start facing these fears that I have and seeing where they go. It was really cool experience. From that point, I started facing a lot of those fears. Snakes have been one of my biggest fears. Just like random, I saw 3 snakes in the same day and it terrified me. So you know what I did? I went and I found a giant snake and I had it stringed around my neck, and I was terrified, but I did it. And it was super cool. Heights, I was like, most of it, I was like, a lot of these fears were in my head, so I started doing things that were higher up and doing different things, and you know what? I was doing it. I was afraid of jumping off stuff, and like, you know, like the thought of doing it, and I would just go off and do this stuff. And it was just super cool, just saying, and whenever when everything that would make me scared, I would say, I have to do this. I cannot let this. And I've started having all these opportunities I didn't. And from dating, this fear of dating, I just said, I'm gonna keep trying at it, no matter it could be good or bad, the different experiences. And from that point, I started actually going on a whole lot of dates. I felt like before that point, I had never really gone on a lot of dates because all the ones that would happen just fell. And I just kind of put that fear and just opening myself up to more people. And from that opportunity, I was getting asked on dates. I was getting set up on dates. I was like initiating dates and all that. So from that experience, I still love that today, is trying to face all those fears and trying to do things. And now there's me living my life, going camping by myself, hiking by myself, which is something I never could imagine. I was always afraid of like getting kidnapped and like different bad stuff that could happen, and like that's still there of like, I need to be careful, and I am a lot more than people see and all that stuff, and that's a whole nother video. But I'm just able to do things because I was afraid of being alone. I'm afraid of not having people around, and suddenly I was like, and last year even, I was realizing, why am I afraid of doing this? If I want to go do something, I'm gonna go and do it. And it's been such a freeing thing. But all good things, you have to remind yourself how good they are. I've mentioned, I think in some other videos or Instagram, like I have had some bad relationship stuff again, and it was very, very rough and hard, and I just did not want to date after it. And still to today, I just don't want to date. Like, I've tried and I have, but it's been difficult, very difficult at times. And I was realizing lately of how I had promised that I was gonna let those fears go and just trust in God, and that was something I'd let myself struggle with again, is how hard it'll be, and not saying hard on myself of like, oh, you're bad, but like, I know I've done this before and I know I need to do it again, of breaking that fear and then trying to date. But there's so many things even in life that hold you back. Is I know there's still things today that make me feel inadequate and that I can't do, and those are the things that should empower me to want to do more, and so I'm trying to do better with that. But I think overcoming your fears, and I can't say for everyone, I don't want to just say your fears aren't there and they're not real and legit, because many of them are. But I would think most of your fears, as most of mine have been, are in your head, that you create them. You're afraid of the dark because you're afraid of what could be there. You're afraid of heights because it's so high up. And let those fears be there. To still be cautious and not be like, you're crazy. But I think a lot of our fears, it's time to face them because they're holding us back and from us being happy. I just think it's so crazy. I just need to go. Here's one fear I really actually want to face is, with the heights. I've used to think skydiving would be stupid, and I just decided, I was like, actually I don't want to do that. And I've been planning for a couple of years, even though I haven't, but I really want to go skydiving, so I need to be held accountable to that. But I never would have imagined doing that before all this. I have never imagined camping or traveling as much. Because you just wait for everything to fall into place, and sometimes it's just like, no, hop in the back of your car and just go take off, find a safe place and camp, and it's great. So you just have to figure out, don't feel like you need to face everything right now. Face everything one step at a time. If that be dating, if that be heights, if that be something else. Because once you can let those go, that's where the freedom starts, and that's where real joy and happiness can go. Because life's amazing, and let the fear be the thing that motivates you. Because it really, when you're in those moments and you're afraid, it's turning that fear into excitement and adrenaline, and suddenly all that energy is into like this joyous, happy moment, and you are just like flying through the air, and you're just something exciting that you realize, I never could do this before. It's one of the best feelings in the world, and it's amazing. So I encourage you, whatever those fears are, to start facing them, start working on them. It's gonna take time. It could take days, weeks, months, years, depending on where those fears too came from. If it was from trauma or experiences or something you mentally came up with and it's been implanted in your brain for so long that it's hard. It's going to take time, and don't feel like if it doesn't work to get over it now, that you're a failure, but just keep working on it. It's just the trying process, and just keep working harder, because there is light at the end of the tunnel, and there's great things ahead. Just don't let those fears hold you back from being happy. Don't let the people that hurt you hold you back from being happy. Take control and know that you're strong and you can do hard things, because there's great things out there, and I know you're gonna do great things. But I hope you liked this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next week. Have a great day, great night. God bless.